This is the show
About
disgruntled football fans.
Yeah.
And the teams they support. And all other teams that even they don't support. And the league in general.
Because this is the league
of the Wings. Now, you may be wondering, wow.
What a Super
and
Bowl.
you'd be correct.
Yeah, because if you watch the Super Bowl, just wow.
Just wow. That's the only way I can explain it. And if you're tuning in for the first time, we do this thing called predictions.
The fuck's happening?
And Google is fucking throwing fireworks over the Buccaneers' win right now. If you search up the Super Bowl results.
Wow. Sorry,
Caleb
I just saw
is very entertained by it. We do this thing called predictions, and throughout the regular season, we did pretty well. I would say.
Yeah.
Caleb won that whole thing. Most games predicted right. In the results of who won, at least. And during the playoffs, we do like these kind of prop bets, like who have the most passing yards, receiving yards, not just who wins, and then also the final score, all these other things. And we haven't been doing too well there.
Yeah. Even though I beat you, you still were really close to me. It's not like it was a blowout.
It's true.
And I think that's the only good predicting, or we can only predict games, not actual find new niche things we've been doing throughout the playoffs.
I wouldn't say we did too bad here though on the Super Bowl.
Still not good,
considering we had Chiefs score at minimum 3-4 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And had them winning. And had Bucks still trailing just a little bit behind. We weren't, completely undervaluing the Bucks defense or their offense or anything.
Close
like
game.
That.
Nonetheless.
It was just like, hey, close game.
But
would you like to tell them what happened?
Yeah, so
just in case they weren't watching.
Bucks did their thing. Tom Brady did their thing and completely dominated the Chiefs. And I don't understand to this day how that happened. And I'm still very confused on how that happened because I don't understand how the Chiefs offense just completely shut down because of how dominant they are. They only scored 9 points. And the Buccaneers scored 31-9, Bucks win. As you probably already know, the fact that the Chiefs only scored field goals is astounding. And it's just crazy to me because no one this year was able to stop the Chiefs' offense. Even in the Chiefs' 2 losses that came this year.
They're pretty
two losses in the regular season. They still scored a shit ton of points. And in this loss, it was a blowout. And this is the first loss by Patrick Mahomes by more than 2 possessions since 2016 versus Iowa State. And his stat line is not that good. 26 of 49, 270 yards, 0 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He had 5 carries for 33 yards, but comparatively to Tom Brady, who had 21 of 29, 201 yards, and 3 total touchdowns, with 4 carries and -2 yards. But he just got completely outplayed by Tom Brady, and I'm very shocked. What are your opinions on this game?
There's a couple of things that has been evident through the entire postseason this year. Number 1, field goals don't win Super Bowls. That's just an obvious one.
Yeah.
That's just we saw that with the Bills. Bills try to do that shit. Frank Reich didn't go for field goals, and all his fans got mad at him once we lost. And I had a whole spiel on that earlier in the postseason about why I think he did the right thing. It was just terrible execution, considering we had a bunch of very inexperienced players, first time playoff people. So field goals don't win Super Bowls. Touchdowns obviously is what you want, and if you can get 2-point conversions or safeties, that's just cherry on top. Typically field goals, that's what you use to put yourself even more ahead and don't want to risk giving up field position when you're already ahead, or to win the whole game at the very end.
Yeah.
Once there's 3 seconds left.
Kind of a last resort kind of thing.
Yeah. Also, offensive line. I would say it's pretty important.
Yeah.
Colts have a great offensive line. That's pretty true, I would say. And people always are you know what, we invest too much in an offensive line or whatever. And what? Just look at the Bucks defense, how they destroyed Mahomes and Aaron Rodgers, who both MVP frontrunners of this season.
Mm-hmm.
Bucks didn't have a chance to play Allen, who was also the other frontrunner, but I would still believe a very similar result would come of that, because Chiefs' offensive line did not come and play. It was like, I'm a big Colts fan, so I'm watching AFC South a lot. It was like watching Texans, Deshaun Watson, over the past couple of years, just scrambling. Boom, 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 boom. Back and forth, back and forth. That's why I was watching for Mahomes.
Yeah, you were saying that a few times throughout the game. And offensive line is the number one most important thing on the entire team. And it is the most undervalued, I feel, in the league. And doesn't get enough credit because, as we saw in this game, like he said, just Patrick Mahomes could not escape the pressure, and it reminded me of Wentz throughout this entire year. He did not have an offensive line, or the Eagles' offensive line. Our entire first string was basically out except for Kelsey, and due to injury, and even most of our second and some of our third string were out too. You know what was the end result? Carson Wentz being the most sacked quarterback in the entire league because we did not have an offensive line. And most of the picks came from him escaping and trying to do too much. That's why I feel like the Eagles had such a bad season, or one of the at least top 3 reasons why the Eagles had such a bad season this year. I saw a statistic. It was like comparing Kirk Cousins and a game that he got crucified in. I think it was a Sunday night game, and he got pressured like 53 or 54% of the time, and everyone was talking shit on him, saying like he's a shitty quarterback. He doesn't know how to win in primetime games. But Patrick Mahomes got pressured 52% of the time. Could not score a touchdown. Could not get more than...
He was making unbelievable throws under pressure.
Yeah. And it was just crazy. Could not score past 10 points.
If it was up to me, I would give the MVP just to the entire defensive line. Maybe Shaq Barrett, Ndamukong Suh, any of them, really. Just because I do think Tom Brady had a great showing, as he usually does in the Super Bowl. It's just that he was continually given great field position because of Chiefs were just punting it. They couldn't get much done, and so he didn't even have the most passing yards because of how basically the gift that the defense was giving him, the field position, so he could just throw it in the end zone. And, you know he's going to make it in the end zone, and he typically doesn't have an issue with pressure just because he releases the ball pretty quick as well. I feel like his receivers have adapted to those really quick plays as well. I mean, he got Gronk back, and they're twinsies. They're just always on the same page when it comes to those sort of things. And that's why Gronk got those 2 touchdowns.
Did Tom Brady win the Super Bowl MVP?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, okay. That sucks because I left after the game ended because I just had enough. But
it was just not a good game.
Yeah, very uninteresting. And until the fourth quarter, I thought the Chiefs would come back and win because
that's what we've seen them do in the playoffs past 2 years. So
I thought it'd be a repeat of the 28-3 Patriots versus Falcons way back. They just couldn't do it, and I feel bad. I still say that. I'm saying now, actually, this is the first time I'm actually saying it out loud. I said it a bunch of times in my head, but I think the game's rigged, and they just wanted to give Tom Brady a 7th Super Bowl ring because in the last 10 years or whatever, this is the first team to win the Super Bowl or even get to the Super Bowl that's lower than the 2nd seed, which is crazy to think about. It's usually the 1st or 2nd seed always in the Super Bowl, or first seed, 2nd seed. But this time it was the 1st seed Kansas City Chiefs and the 5th seed Tampa Bay Bucks. But it was the first time in a decade or plus probably that team lower than the 2nd seed got into the Super Bowl and then won.
That's similar to, I don't think it was the Heat. It must have been Cleveland Cavaliers when LeBron was on that team that made it to the finals. They weren't that high of a seed that one year. I forget which year. My NBA history is not as good as NFL history. But, everyone thought that they wouldn't make it just because their regular season was kind of meh. But then they just ran through everyone in the East, and then they made it to the finals, and that was that. And so it's a very similar situation just because, you have a guy who's the front man, who just has been in that situation before. Playoff experience really does matter. It's just a whole different sort of game. sometimes. Playoff football versus regular season football. And so I would not say it's rigged. I just feel like, man, it's so hard. And experience is so hard to come by. And when you get to a point that you're so experienced like Tom Brady, it's just like, how can you take him down?
Yeah.
And also defense. I can't express this enough. Like, their defense fuck shit up.
Mm-hmm.
Like, in the playoffs, we didn't see that as much we saw like moments of it in the regular season, but all of a sudden it just all came together last second. They had a rookie defensive player who quickly on the rise to being like a candidate for rookie defensive player of the year, but then didn't. He was the guy who taunted Tyreek.
Okay. Yeah.
You know, he had a lot of amazing plays during the postseason, whereas, you know, he only had like quick sparks throughout the regular season. So there's also just a bunch of young guys, I think, as well on the Bucks that started to shine later. You know, usually we start to see that in their sophomore year, but, you know, this is basically as late as it gets into the first season. And if you don't have it figured out by then, you know, you're going home. And luckily they got it figured out. So
I guess what I'm saying is just, I'm tired of Tom Brady winning Super Bowls and winning in general, but the Bucks did light on fire. They've won the last 11 games. They are on 11 game streak because they ended the regular season 7-0 after starting at 7-5, and then the 4 playoff wins, including the Super Bowl. So yeah, that's all that matters is how you end the season and not how you begin. So do you want to go over the predictions?
So we both said Chiefs, both by either 3 or 2 deficits. I said 27-24. He said 30-28. All of this is wrong. We both said Patrick Mahomes most passing yards. We were right, but we didn't expect it to be how it was. You did predict Travis Kelce to have most receiving yards. He was not actually playing that well, though. He had a lot of miscues, and honestly, he like slipped on the field at one point. But he still managed to get most receiving yards, which is just very impressive for him. I said Mike Evans, which, you know, I don't really regret, but
yeah,
I just feel like they just got the lead so early. It was like, we don't need to throw a deep ball to Mike Evans. What the fuck? Leonard Fournette did get the most rushing yards. I called that. A lot of people were saying other Buccaneers running backs, but I was like, I feel like they've been giving more of the carries to him recently in the playoffs, so I'm going to go with him there.
And I said Clyde Edwards-Helaire, and I think if the Chiefs were actually like close to the Bucs and it was actually a close game, or if the Chiefs were blowing out the Bucs, I do think Edwards-Helaire would have taken the most rushing yards. It's just that the Chiefs
7.1 average yards.
Yeah.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, he had 9 carries for 64 yards. So I think if the Chiefs weren't playing from behind, he would get the most yardage just from how he was playing. Yeah. And Leonard Fournette had 16 carries for 89 yards. Yeah. So it's a shame.
We said Chris Godwin and Tyreek Hill for first touchdown. It was Gronk. Should have known better. I said interception would occur first out of all the turnover type things. You said turnover on downs because I wasn't sure if someone would go for a 4th down so soon. And Chiefs, no, it was the Bucks who couldn't do it, right?
Yeah,
at the goal line.
Yeah.
Man, they had gone so close to another fucking touchdown. Imagine if it was 38-9.
Damn,
it's crazy. Which team records the most sacks? It was the Bucks. I said Chiefs. I thought, you know, I just thought that the Chiefs would do a bit better on the O-line just because it didn't seem like they had that big of an issue for the regular season. But also, I just thought Patrick Mahomes could escape it in the same way that Deshaun Watson could. And he did, don't get me wrong. But Chiefs on their side couldn't get anything going against the offensive line. So it was actually just Bucks only had 2 sacks. Chiefs 1. But it looked like they got fucking 10 or something.
Yeah.
That's what it seemed like.
It was crazy. Like, every single play seemed like they were like, it would take 2 seconds to get to Mahomes, and he was worrying for his life on every single play.
It just goes to show you how fucking good Mahomes is.
Yeah.
Russell Wilson takes some notes. How many total field goals will be missed? I said 1. Despite the veteran presence, I just thought, you know, 1 is bound to miss. None. And there are a lot of field goals.
I was very nervous because, 1, like you said, a lot of field goals, but there were long field goals too. There were like 45 plus or in the 40 range for each field goal, and I was just like biting my nails because of how long they were.
Yeah. Will there be a 2-point conversion made? I said no. You said yes.
Yep.
None.
Not even a conversion.
Yeah, there's no attempts. No attempts. You know, Bucks had no reason to do that. Chiefs couldn't even get a touchdown in order to do it. So, how long will be their longest kick return? I said 42 to 38 yards. You said 37 to 33 yards, and it was 41. I was in the zone. Yeah. It was not the first kick return, maybe the second.
Yeah. It was very early in the game, nonetheless. Do you want to move on to the
NFL honors?
Yep.
Woo! So at the very beginning of the season, it was like actually it wasn't the very beginning. It was like week 3 where we had, maybe week 2 where we had a little idea of how well people were playing, but it's so early in the season, anything could happen, and you'll see how that is pretty indicative soon enough. Let's get into that, our predictions and how they turned out. So MVP. Well, we both had a main prediction and then an alternative that is also kind of like a stretch, or not even a stretch that much as all, just like an alternative.
We did very bad.
Pretty bad, yeah.
I did very bad. You did a little bit better, but
yeah, well, it's a hard thing to do. But I don't think anyone would have been able to predict a lot of these.
Yeah.
Right. Maybe just like 1 or 2, but anyway, MVP. I said Russell Wilson because he had such a hot start to his season, and you said Patrick Mahomes because Mahomes.
Yep.
Our alternatives and stretches, mine was Mahomes as well, and then you had Christian McCaffrey
getting injured in like the first second week.
Rip.
Boom.
Maybe better luck next year. Russell Wilson also fell off the chart, and then Patrick Mahomes just didn't have an extraordinary season. Obviously, any season he fucking plays is pretty good.
Yep.
Excellent, one may say, but it wasn't MVP worthy in comparison to like Josh Allen and Aaron Rodgers. So
Who won the MVP, or did you say
Aaron Rodgers?
Oh, okay, yeah.
Everyone knows it was Aaron Rodgers. Like from fucking week 14, everyone knew.
Yeah, I was just saying.
Anyways, offensive player of the year, I said DeAndre Hopkins, which I honestly still believe, like maybe statistically doesn't show, but whatever. You said Devontae Adams, which also very
he had a
very
good,
close.
Yeah.
If he wasn't injured, probably those 2 or 3 games he was out, he definitely would have had it.
100%.
But Derrick Henry with his 2,000-yard rushing, like that's obviously give him the fucking trophy. No,
he almost broke the fucking record for most rushing yards in the season.
Exactly. Devontae Adams probably could have had some sort of reception record or whatever, but he was injured 2-3 games, and which would have been really cool if Aaron Rodgers was MVP and he had Offensive Player of the Year.
Yeah.
This is like one of the most iconic
duos,
quarterback wide receiver duos in history if that were to happen. So.
Yep. And then our alternatives, you said
I said Christian McCaffrey there, and then you said Josh Jacobs.
I thought he would pop off because it was I think it was week 2, like you said, because I remember he popped off in week 1, and I was like, you know what, this fucking guy is gonna go off this entire year. He was also on your
fantasy at the time, so.
I was just riding high on
definitely a stretch,
Josh, but yeah.
Here's our first correct one. Defensive Player of the Year, Aaron Donald versus TJ Watt. Basically the 2 people who the finalists, I would say, of this category. I think I said Aaron Donald, he said TJ Watt. I think TJ Watt should have won it.
Yeah, I disagree.
You think Aaron Donald should have?
Yeah. I saw this statistic where even though TJ Watt has better stats than Aaron Rodgers, I think Aaron Donald. Sorry. I'm used to saying Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Donald, Pro Football Focus, I think they were looking more into how many double teams each player had, and TJ Watt only got double teamed like 15% of the time, and I forget the exact number, but it was double if not triple the amount of double teams Aaron Donald had over TJ Watt. So I don't know why I'm getting tripped up on the names, but Aaron Donald got double team a shit ton more than TJ Watt, and he was close to TJ Watt.
What is TJ Watt? Defensive end?
Yeah, but TJ Watt
and Aaron Donald's a defensive tackle.
Yeah,
I feel like it's way easier to double team on the tackle than the end, though.
Yeah, but still, like he's still
centralized. I feel like that's not a good way to compare 2 not very different positions, but 2 different positions in the fact that you can easily double team someone on the inside, but if you double team on the outside, then that just gives a big gap for the linebacker. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like Aaron Donald was still escaping like double teams and still had similar.
I'll give him
stats.
That credit, but TJ Watt, that's not really something that's gonna happen, regardless.
Yeah, but like Aaron Donald's had like similar stats to TJ Watt, and he was only like 1 or 2 off of TJ Watt's numbers, and I think that's what their stance was.
Listen, I just feel like when you have a kind of record year that TJ Watt had, and when you think of the Steelers in general, like that defense was like very good. And in a way, I I kind of look at it as like that guy helped the Steelers become so fucking like monstrous at that point in the regular season, because that's what we're basing it on, the regular season. Aaron Donald, like everyone knew they were a great defense, but like they're more balanced, I would say, and it didn't seem like they were monstrous through the regular season on the defensive end.
Yeah.
And so, and just because of looking at the statistics for TJ Watt, it's like, oh, that's an obvious reason why we felt that energy from the Steelers this whole season. And I don't know. I just feel like you have to give it to fucking Watt when he clearly has the better statistics in that sense.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean,
Aaron Donald, the fucking trophy should be named after him. I agree.
Yeah.
But, it wasn't one of his better seasons, I wouldn't say.
Yeah, I can see both sides. I mean, I was just stating why I think you probably got it over TJ Watt, and I think that's what they were looking at.
Donald definitely second.
Yeah, most definitely. But it was still very close, and I think I'm going to like go back on what I said about, and TJ Watt should have won it, but I'm just saying, or stating why they picked Aaron Donald over TJ Watt.
Otherwise, we had Stephon Gilmore as the stretch. I did, and you had Darius, which, like, honestly, I could kind of see. Still very much a stretch.
Yes, he had a decent season, not anything special.
First season on a new team. Obviously a great player.
Got burned a few times by elite receivers like Devontae Adams and a couple other players, but oh well.
But always room for improvement there. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I definitely had a snap judgment and overreacted to Clyde Edwards-Hilaire's first game where he popped off against the Texans, which the fucking Texans should have known better. And you said Jerry Jeudy, which I don't know where that came from, but
I don't know why.
Also, neither of us really, even in our alternatives, neither of us went quarterbacks, which should have been the obvious one, like Joe Burrow or Justin Herbert. Even though I don't think either of us would have suspected Justin Herbert to come out of nowhere, but Joe Burrow definitely, like, at least.
I don't know where we were thinking or what we were thinking at the time, but I think all four of the picks that we have, the two alternate and or stretch, and then the two actual ones are very like out there. I feel because
no, I think Jonathan Taylor is pretty close.
That is true. Okay,
fucking third in rushing in the whole league as a rookie.
3 out of the 4, I guess.
When he wasn't even supposed to be the starter at the beginning of the year.
Yeah. I forgot the stretch that Taylor went on towards the end of the season, but still, like, we didn't pick a quarterback or whatever.
Think about it. Like, they started Nyheim Hines over him multiple times throughout the season, even after Marlon Mack was out.
Yeah. I don't know why, but I guess just Justin Herbert's performance this year was just outweighing everything.
Of course.
Because he was breaking crazy
records.
Yeah. Breaking crazy records. Some
Andrew
of them.
Andrew Luck.
Yeah.
I think even some of them were Mannings, maybe. So fucking Colts fans just took a beating there. But defensive rookie of the year, you got right, actually, Chase Young. I had him as an alternate, so I can't take too much credit for it. But I said Patrick Queen just because he did also have come off a pretty good start and was pretty good throughout the season. But Chase Young is fucking Chase Young. There's a reason he took him at number 2. There's a great moment when Mike Tomlin came to him and was like, I never want to have my team be as bad to the point where we're able to draft you, which is kind of like you deserve to be taken that early.
Mm-hmm.
And, if his team were ever to get as bad as fucking pick number 2, then, he'd probably be out the building.
And then
that was a cool comment.
I agree. And then I picked Isaiah Simmons as my alternative or stretch. So, yeah.
Who's Isaiah Simmons, by the way?
I forget.
Like, that rings a bell, but I forget what actual team he's on. Simmons. Linebacker for the Cardinals.
Yeah. Because I didn't know too many defensive rookies, so I just looked up a list of defensive rookies that were good.
8th overall.
Yeah, and then I just randomly picked the guy.
That's crazy. Okay. Anyways, I don't know how good he did. I feel like the whole defense was kind of hit or miss every different game. It was hard to really gauge that. Comeback play of the year. Boom, Alex Smith.
Yeah, that was an easy one. I think for
back then we weren't sure if he was ever gonna touch the ball, so it was hard to tell. But then Jordan Haskins had his old thing.
I don't know why I picked AJ Green. That was a dumb pick. I should have picked him.
No, he started off all right. I think I even had him on fantasy at one point, and then Ben Rowe just he was close. Actually, he did get one vote. It was not a unanimous vote for Alex Smith. One person
Which
did
sucks.
vote Ben Rowe.
I thought that Alex Smith was going to get snubbed from this for whatever reason, and I didn't think that Alex Smith was going to get it because, I don't know, I thought they were going to be completely stupid about it. But yeah, we both picked Ben Roethlisberger
As our
alternative, which was the safe choice because I think he was the front runner even from the beginning of the season throughout until like Alex Smith actually started to play good and brought the Washington to the playoffs. But yeah,
Could you explain to me what coach of the year, like how do they decide that?
I have no idea.
How do they fucking decide fucking coach of the year? Because, I mean, Kevin Stefanski, Browns, maybe is because they ended the year really well, whereas the start of the season everyone was kind of like trashing them.
I think it's maybe because of how the team performed the previous year is taken into consideration as well, possibly. I don't quite sure, but I don't know. I was kind of mad about that
It was
because
just an 11-5. Well, I said Andy Reid, with my alternate being Frank Reich, who Frank Reich also led their team to an 11-5 after having not a great season the previous year. But no one wants to talk about that, so whatever.
and I said Ron Rivera, and then my alternative is I don't know how to pronounce his name.
Cliff Kingsbury, they did not have a good end to the season.
Yeah, but the reason why I picked Ron Rivera was because he was suffering with cancer early in the season and throughout the season.
He led it fucking division win, which
Yeah.
we know is that he used to like that. But still, he fucking did that and brought it to 7-9 when people were like, this might be the first 5-11 team that ever fucking gets into the playoffs. But you know, he brought it to 7-9, which is like better than anyone would have expected from the NFC East come like week 8 or whatever. Yeah, I guess we're done with the NFL honors shit there.
I wanted to say.
Yeah, you can say whatever else you have to say, and then we'll move on.
I just wanted to say something quick about Ron Rivera because before the camera died, I wanted to say that Ron Rivera was suffering with cancer, and I said this week 2 or week 3, but during the Eagles game, I didn't know if he did this throughout the rest of the games that he played, but during the Eagles game, the first game of the season, he had to put an IV he had to take an IV during halftime and stuff. And I just respected him after that. I even respected him before that. Like, I really liked the coach to begin with, regardless, obviously, if I have cancer or not. But, like, just to have cancer and bring a bad team to the playoffs, especially how bad the Washington has played for the past few years, is just incredible. And just the fact where he, like, throughout the season and just being able to continue coaching even though he had cancer. And good news is that he is cancer free.
Woo!
I think we got the news like mid playoffs, and so that is exciting news, and I'm happy for him that he's finally recovered from cancer and beat it. Congratulations, Ron Rivera, and I'm proud of you.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's all I gotta say. Can we do the go over Hall of Fames real quick? Hall of Famers.
Oh yeah, we can do that.
Okay. And we don't have to spend too much time on it because I want to get to the NFL predictions with the free agency after this, but I just wanted to lightly glaze over it because Peyton Manning, your guy.
No surprise.
Yep.
It was a 2-minute conversation about that during the briefing. So it was just like a mic drop moment from my good friend, Colts analyst. I'm forgetting his name, but I follow him on Twitter. I really like what he has to say about the Colts throughout the season. He was absolutely right about Peyton Manning. He did take a lot more time when it came to Reggie Wayne, who I didn't expect to be first ballot anyways, but it would have been really cool if Peyton Manning and Reggie Wayne got in at the same time. I know that fucking Jim Irsay, our owner, would have had a fucking amazing fucking party over that. So sadly, he was not first ballot, and plus there were, other great wide receivers within there. I mean, Calvin Johnson was easily going to overshadow him, so it was just a tough year to open up. Mike Chappell, love Mike Chappell. That's good. Yeah, he spent no more than 13 seconds pleading Manning's case. That's right.
Yeah, I'm happy for him, and that was probably one of the most obvious choices for first ballot Hall of Fame because it's Peyton Manning. It's Peyton fucking Manning. But the other Hall of Famers I got into the 2021 classes, Charles Woodson, Calvin Johnson.
Both easy picks right there.
Super easy picks. Drew Pearson, Alan Faneca, Bill Nunn, John Lynch, and Tom Flores. And I just want to say one quick thing about Calvin Johnson. Calvin Johnson was able to be drafted retired, and then be inducted into a Hall of Fame, all in the time span of Tom Brady's career. And that just goes to show you how old Tom Brady is.
May I just say that the fact that Tom Flores is just now getting into the Hall of Fame is shocking. He was the first Hispanic coach to be in the NFL, and then the first minority coach to ever win a Super Bowl just a couple seasons later. I mean, that speaks for itself, I think.
I don't know who he is, and I never heard of him. Can you explain
He
a
won
little
the
bit more?
Super Bowl. Which Super Bowl did he win? Oh, as a player, he actually won the 4th ever Super Bowl. But then as a coach, he was a 3-time Super Bowl champion.
Damn.
Once as an assistant coach, which, fair.
For what teams?
I think this was with Raiders, yeah. And then I think it was with Raiders as well that he won the other two. He did go on to be the Seattle Seahawks head coach from 92 to 94, but that didn't really work out. He was with the Raiders, though, for 8 seasons. As a head coach, he was with the Raiders for 8 seasons. He was with them longer as a wide receivers coach, though, before he finally got his moment. Through all that time, he got 3 Super Bowls with them. 2 of them were as head coach.
Yeah, why the fuck isn't he in the Hall of Fame sooner? Did he just recent?
His regular season record wasn't really amazing. It was 97 to 87. Still a winning record, .527. But when you think about it, like other minority coaches who have gone in, like Tony Dungy, his is like a .668 or something like that. And then, but his postseason record was 8-3, which is pretty good. Career between both 105 to 90, .538.
Did he just retire or something, or
no? His last coaching gig was with the Seahawks '94.
Oh, okay. Then that is kind of confusing. I guess it took him a while, but even when he was a quarterback, he did decent.
Yeah, Raiders fans have just been going crazy over it for a long time, but finally it happened.
So yeah, I'm glad that he finally got into the Hall of Fame. He seems like he's well deserved. All right, now let's get to the free agency predictions.
Yes, so there's a lot. Let's get right into it. I did 25 that maybe aren't the most important, but definitely most noteworthy names that you'll definitely recognize if you're into the NFL. Number 1, Dak Prescott, Dallas quarterback. Where do we think he'll end up?
I'm thinking he's going to end up back on the Cowboys again.
Me too. I think it's going to be this whole deal because fucking Jerry Jones is going to make a whole deal, but eventually they'll work it out. Plus the whole team loves him, and that would just be fucking crazy if he didn't.
Yeah.
But I could easily see him not as well. Jerry Jones is like, you know what? No.
Yeah, just the disrespect on Dak Prescott for the past few years, even though I'm an Eagles fan and absolutely hate the Cowboys.
He was off to an MVP season.
But yeah.
He was off to an MVP season at the start before his injury.
But I have to give him credit. I have to give him fucking credit. I hate to do so. But I think he's my favorite Cowboy, and he just deserves it. I mean, what the fuck? It's Dak fucking Prescott.
Dak fucking Prescott. Also, him speaking out about mental health at the beginning of the year was very important. He's just a stand-up guy.
Yeah, I just love him.
Number 2, obviously, is Allen Robinson, Chicago wide receiver. Now, here's the thing before we get into this. He did say during the Super Bowl, I was like, damn, I really want to get a Super Bowl. Who doesn't? Fuck off. Cordarrelle Patterson, another Chicago wide receiver who's also, I think, an all-pro returnsman this past season. He replied we gonna get it or something like that, and Allen Robinson was like, yup. So despite everyone thinking and theorizing Allen Robinson's gonna go a different way, he seems like he wants to stay at least a little bit. And there's all that whole quarterback rumor about who else could come into Chicago, so it's possible that he might be more willing to stay after that gets figured out. So what's your prediction for that?
I don't think he's gonna stay on the Bears.
Where do you think he's going?
I think he's going to your team.
Indy?
Yep, I think he's going to the Colts.
You know what? I would fucking love it, but I actually don't think so. I think he's staying.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I would fucking love it, but I feel like we might go for a smaller price tag on wide receiver personally, just because we already have to pay so much probably for a quarterback. It's we can't get so many big names into our city at the same time. It's just how it works. So
yeah,
even though we do have a lot of cap space, but I just don't think it's going to happen.
Wait,
unfortunately.
I also think that he's could go to the Eagles as well. Could you do a slash, or is it just Is it definite? Or is that like cheating?
I'm just going to do in very small letters,
Okay.
just to show that, yeah, you kind of had that as well, but I don't think that's going to happen, dude.
Yeah.
Sorry. If anywhere, I think actually Miami would be
really?
a cool hotspot for him.
Yeah.
Because kind of similar with like Browns getting what's his name from the Giants.
Odell.
Odell. I always blank on fucking names.
Yeah, I do too.
OBJ coming in for a younger quarterback who needs that, veteran receiver, just like, get him started or whatever. Maybe that hasn't necessarily worked out, but I can still see that, being like the ideology for Miami. Like, bring a fucking guy in there who just Tua can just sling it to and whatnot.
Yep, I can see that too.
I could see that. Maybe. Nah. Herbert's already got Keenan Allen. I doubt they'd bring in another presence like Allen Robinson. I feel like Keenan Allen would appreciate that. Bengals? Maybe?
They need a receiver. AJ Green's getting old. Tyler Boyd's their only other receiver. So they need a receiver. I see that too.
Tampa Bay's Chris Godwin, wide receiver. Where do you think he's going? He just won a Super Bowl with them. You think he's going anywhere?
This one's tough because they have so many players on that team that I just don't see how they're going to get enough cap space to keep him on.
They just got Antonio Brown as well, who's also a free agent. Would he stay and then kick Chris Godwin out the door, considering he did get a Super Bowl touchdown? Chris Godwin did.
Yeah. I don't think he's staying.
Ooh. Where's he going?
I wanted to say the Dolphins.
Dolphins?
Yeah.
Miami,
because you just said they need a receiver, and that Tua combination, if Tua stays in Dolphins, we don't know about with the Watson trade and ordeal or whatever, but yeah, I say Miami. What do you think?
I'm going to say San Francisco.
San Fran.
Kind of random.
They need a receiver.
I feel like they could. They have a bunch of younger guys. Godwin coming in could just be like good, really good support, and I feel like Garoppolo would appreciate it. I mean, Kittle just needs some of that weight off his shoulders, so I think that could be a cool place. And I feel like they're gonna come back and be a Super Bowl caliber team again this next season if injuries work themselves out.
Yeah,
and then Godwin would just really fucking help that. So.
And they have Brandon Ayuk too, younger guy.
A bunch of young guys who could use that leadership, and they would be definitely a force receiving wise. Because I don't think Garoppolo's as bad as people say, even though all those rumors. But I think Garoppolo's will be staying in San Francisco, and they'll do just as good as they did their Super Bowl season.
I can see that. And
as long as they develop more on defense a little, because they might be losing another guy, and they lost to Forrest Buckner already. So.
Yeah. I just want to say quickly that my laptop is on 69%. Nice. And okay, you can go.
Jesus Christ. Okay, Denver's Justin Simmons. He's a safety. Who needs a safety?
I've never heard of this guy before.
Oh, well, he's a pretty young guy that has done really well for Denver in the secondary. Trey could probably tell you all about it. Trey probably just immediately believes he's going to stay, but I don't think so.
I can see him going to the Eagles because the Eagles do need a safety, and we've been we drafted or picked up a few players on the Broncos last season through free agency. So for some reason we've loved Bronco players, but I'm going to say that he stays.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Denver. I actually say he's going to the Titans. I feel like Titans definitely needs. Well, they're already kind of a young team on defense, but I think to add that sort of depth at their secondary would definitely help. I think they have decent cornerbacks, but someone to kind of like control the back end would definitely be helpful, and he would make them a force, man. Jesus Christ. Next, we have Leonard Williams, defensive lineman from the Giants. I feel like there are a lot of teams that need defensive linemen, but where do you think he's going?
I don't know. For some reason, the first team that popped into my head for whatever reason is the Bucks. I don't know why, because they don't need one, but I feel like they've been getting a lot of veteran players on that line.
Jesus Christ!
And
you think they're gonna add to what is already fucking crazy?
Yeah, it'll be a dumb decision and pointless. But I just feel like Sue is getting older. He may go somewhere else. So I'm wanting to say the Bucks. Yeah.
I'm gonna say in the division, Atlanta.
I think
they need a fucking weapon.
They do need defense.
in the
That makes
defensive
sense,
position.
yeah.
And I think their secondary is kind of figuring themselves out. They just need to carry that momentum next year. But Leonard Williams will lead the way. Boom.
I can see that.
Defense immediately improved with that addition. San Francisco's Trent Williams, offensive tackle, definitely one of the better tackles in the league. I have no idea if like he wants to stay or not, but I'd imagine he'd want to stick around just because San Francisco, I feel like they're really buddy down there in San Fran. So
Yeah.
he's just gonna stay. Is my opinion. What do you got?
A couple teams popped into my head. The Eagles, Seahawks, the Chiefs all need offensive linemen. But I can also see him staying on the San Francisco for the points that you just made about Super Bowl contention. So I'm going to say that he stays. That's a safe bet. And yeah, San Francisco is not a bad place to stay.
Yeah. All right, we have Yannick Ngakoue.
The Eagles were going after this guy over the off season.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
He's great down in Baltimore. There's also another Baltimore edge position that is also in free agency, but I didn't even bother to use him because Ngakoue is just better, and so I was only keeping one of them on this list of predictions. Where do you think he's going? I feel like a lot of teams also need edge. So
I feel like they spent a lot to get this guy. I don't know why. There's like trade options or whatever to keep for the Eagles and stuff, and just word we would have to spend like a lot of money and a lot of assets to get this guy. I don't know why he's in free agency because of like how much he was worth and stuff.
Maybe he's just an older guy. I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they just signed him to like a 1-year deal or something. But I think that he's staying on the
He's
Ravens.
staying on Baltimore.
Yeah.
All right. I actually don't think he's staying. I think Baltimore has enough young people to kind of take his position, and he might be asking too much money-wise. So I think he'll go elsewhere. Where will he go, though? I think
Maybe the Cardinals? Cardinals needs some defense.
Cowboys.
Cowboys.
Cowboys are going to chase after him.
Dang it. I don't want him in the Cowboys. That would be such a nightmare.
They definitely need it. You can't deny that.
Yeah, I can't deny that. With Eagles' offensive line, their situation, he would absolutely destroy us every single game.
All right, Kenny Galladay, who do you think he's going to do?
I say the Eagles.
Really?
Yeah.
Didn't? Oh, you just put
Yeah.
Okay. Eagles for Kenny Galladay. I could definitely see that. They definitely need him.
Yeah, because I feel like we're always in conversation with
Lions.
What?
You're always in conversation with the Lions.
Yeah, the Lions, and just with receivers and stuff. We're always in the mix.
Colts
yeah.
are always trading and dealing with the Jets. That's the Colts' thing.
Yeah. It's kind of weird how like teams form relationships like that.
Yeah. I actually think he's going to the Colts.
Really?
Yeah, I think this is the guy that they are going to pursue even more so than Juju or Allen Robinson, just because I have a good feeling that this is kind of in their like price range that they're willing to spend on a wide receiver, like not too much as like Allen Robinson would take, or not too low to the point where it's like, why are we even getting this receiver? We have average receivers already. So I think this is the guy that they're going to be pursuing. Shaquille Barrett, he just won in Tampa Bay. Do you think he's leaving?
I think he's staying. I said Chris Godwin is leaving. I think they're going to spend a lot of money on that defense because it's a good defense, and I think that's where they're going to pour most of their money or cap space into.
Interesting.
Yeah.
I actually think he's going to the Colts as well.
Really?
Yeah, we definitely need an
Dang.
edge rusher. Fucking Barrett and DeForest Buckner would just tear up the league. And
Yeah.
I know Shaquille Barrett would be looking for like a big like unit defense like the Colts if he was willing to shop around other teams. Tampa Bay is just, I feel like they're going to struggle with cap space this offseason. They're going to have to let some really good guy go, and he's going to be it because they can fill in with other people as well. They have enough depth, I feel like, on the defensive end.
That would be a disgusting defense if you guys would have been able to like get him, because the Colts defense is already like top 5, top 3 like defenses in the league, and if like they get Barrett, that would,
and we're keeping our fucking defensive coordinator, who probably should have been picked up by a coaching vacancy somewhere, but he didn't. Instead, it was Sirianni for some reason. But there you go.
That's gonna be a crazy defense.
So next is Juju Smith-Schuster.
I hate him.
Fair enough.
Fuck
Wide
off.
receiver. Do you think he could be leaving Pittsburgh?
I think he's staying in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, me too. I don't think that's even a question.
Yeah.
I think Pittsburgh can convince him to stay.
And so he can continue doing his TikTok dances on logos
Of
and
course.
being stupid. But
Okay.
Yeah, he's just too good, and I think they're in desperate need of receivers. Not
I
desperate,
feel like
but
they're definitely willing to pay him more.
yeah, and I think they have enough cap space. They're definitely in the middle of the group, I feel. So
Also from Pittsburgh, Bud Dupree. They're probably going to give a lot of money to Juju and, other people, do you think?
I don't know.
This edge rusher?
Tell me a little bit about him. I don't know too much.
Well,
about him.
he's basically second best behind TJ.
Okay. I think he's also going to stay.
Okay. I
Yeah.
think they're just bringing everyone back.
Yep.
I agree. Aaron Jones, I'd be very surprised if he stayed in Green Bay, if I'm being honest.
Why did you say that?
Just because the way they used him last year was very minimal, and I think you'd want to chase the bag and the stats and everything else.
I can see that. I don't know who actually needs a running back, though. I'm trying to think who needs a running back or in desperate need of a running back. Because I feel like the running back position is kind of dwindling where it's not focused on one guy necessarily, but like a unit. Colts don't need any. Eagles don't need any. Titans definitely don't need any. How about you say yours while I think of who needs to.
This may be fucking crazy, and I don't even know if they have the cap space to make all of this happen, but the Rams.
The Rams.
Just
Dang.
imagine.
Dude, that would be
Just
elite.
imagine.
Oh my God. Wait, who's their running back? Wait, Akers. Cam Akers, he was popping off.
He wasn't popping off. He was
Well,
doing
okay. Okay.
I feel like they can easily do like a little rotation there.
I meant like towards the end of the season a little bit.
Nah.
Okay,
Bring Aaron Jones in.
dude, that would be deadly. I can see the Rams, but I'm going to say the Cardinals are going to pick him up.
Oh yeah, they could definitely use it.
Yeah, I mean they got Drake and the other guy.
Drake.
I forget their other guy's name, but
Yeah. Whatever.
they definitely can use a running back.
Edmonds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Levante David, linebacker, Tampa Bay, another defensive piece. I think he's actually staying. I think they need this guy.
I say the Eagles.
What the fuck? What is this team, man?
The
You're
most.
just shopping, dude.
Yeah. Wait, you can scroll back up and delete the Philly little like hyphen. Yeah, you can delete that.
Okay.
But the reason why I say Philly is because the worst position on the Eagles is linebacker, and we're in desperate need of a linebacker, and I feel like we're not going to draft one
Right.
in the draft, so I think we're going to do a little shopping in linebacker position.
Leonard Floyd, edge rusher. Basically the counterpart to the success from reigning defensive player of the year, Aaron Donald. Do you think he could be staying on that fucking mass fucking wreckage that is the Rams?
I think he's staying.
Yeah, me too. I would agree actually. I think he really thrives there, honestly. Despite maybe being overshadowed by Aaron Donald, I don't think he would really mind. Joe Thuney, offensive guard of New England. Where do you think he's going?
Wait, offensive guard?
Yeah.
It says OG. OGs. Sorry. I get distracted. I say the Chiefs.
Oh, that could work. I would say that as well, actually.
Really?
Yeah, now that you say it.
Because the Super Bowl just was a glaring like problem, and I feel like they're going to do a little work on that position over the offseason.
Here's a bunch of wide receivers. Corey Davis, Titans.
Bengals. There you go.
Bengals.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can see that. I think he stays on Tennessee.
Really?
I think he likes it there. I don't know. I feel like I just can't imagine him leaving, despite them already having like a wide receiver one that maybe he gets overshadowed by. I don't think he's as good to like make a case that he should go anywhere else and be someone else's wide receiver one though.
Yeah, that makes sense.
They've already made plays so many times, like whatever. Houston, Will Fuller.
I say he's staying.
You think he's staying?
Yeah.
I disagree. I think he's going to fucking Miami. I don't think he wants to stay in Houston anymore.
That makes sense. Like kind of the Watson situation.
Yeah. Watson wanted him to stay. They're like, if the Texans don't keep this guy, they're stupid. But then, everything that's going on with Watson now, I feel like Will Fuller is like, I don't want to go to fucking back to Houston. If Watson is not going to be there, and even if he's there, it's going to be awkward. I'm going to go to Miami.
That makes a lot of sense.
I could easily see him driving in Miami. Aguilar, Vegas.
I say he's staying.
Yeah, me too. I think he'll be in Las Vegas for a while now. I think they really appreciate him there. Hunter Henry, tight end, Chargers.
I say he's staying.
Me too. Herbert, dude. He's got to love Herbert.
Yeah.
T.Y. Hilton, wide receiver, Indianapolis.
I say he's staying.
Me too. Keeping DY. All right.
He's too good. He's too good.
Jadeveon Clowney, edge rusher, Tennessee.
I hate him so much.
I don't think he's going to stay. I think he's going to just get another fucking 1-year contract somewhere else.
I don't know where
he's basically been on every AFC South team. I'm just going to send him to Jacksonville.
I want to say the Jets.
All right, Richard Sherman.
I say he's staying.
I don't think he will.
Really?
I think for some reason he's just going to be like, I'm out of here.
I feel like he likes it there.
I'm sure he probably does, but I'm sure he's going to be shopping a little, and someone else is going to maybe raise it a bit more, since they have a lot of already great defensive pieces that they're paying for. You know, he's going to chase the bag maybe.
Where do you think he's going to go?
I think Patrick Peterson's leaving. He's going to stay in the division again, go to Arizona.
Dang. Fuck. What is he going to end up in the Rams like a couple years from now or whatever?
Yeah.
Rob Gronkowski, I say he retires.
Yeah, me too. I was going to do the same thing. He doesn't need another. He easily could, but I don't think he's going to do it.
He's so beat up too and old and
Patrick Peterson, I'm pretty sure he wants to leave.
Damn, the Eagles could really use another cornerback, but we're like already spending a crap ton in that position with Darius Leonard and stuff. I don't know where that would.
Darius Leonard.
Or not Darius. I don't.
Hold on a second. You know something I don't. No.
Darius Slay. I mean, every time when I think of Darius, I always think of Darius Leonard because you're always talking about him.
That's true.
Okay, you say yours first because I need to think.
I really like he'll probably go to the other conference. Who needs one? I feel like he'd really like it in Baltimore.
I can see that.
And that would be an amazing defense.
Because Earl Thomas just left. I don't know. What position is Earl Thomas again? Safety.
Whatever.
Yeah.
I think they could use a cornerback regardless.
Yeah. I don't know. I'm going to say the Browns. I don't know why. I don't even think they need one, but I just like him on that team.
Okay, sure. Cam Newton.
I say not going to be able to find a team.
What? Not a single team.
Not a single team.
FA. I don't know what the fuck about there. He's got to go on a team. Maybe not for what he wants, but it's just going to take a while.
I'm sure he's going to find one maybe middle of the season possibly on like a backup, but he's definitely not starting.
Fuck, I was going to send him to Vegas, but they're already paying a lot for Mariota as a backup.
The Eagles?
He went to Pittsburgh.
That would be so funny. I could see that. Say Pittsburgh.
Pittsburgh.
Okay, we have 15 seconds before the camera shuts off, so I'm going to say bye.
Bye, guys. These are predictions.
And I have a special guest that I'm going to be interviewing next week, so stay tuned. All right, bye. Love you.